Ooh, doggy, this thing is ridiculous right here. We have a couple hundred snakes to pack up before we hit the road. Hey, good morning everybody and welcome to the vlog. Today we go on an adventure down to Indianapolis to go visit Forrest and Desiree to pick up a bunch of really cool snakes. Lori and myself are gearing up and hitting the road. What do you say we have an adventure together? I hope the start of the day is absolutely incredible. About a 5-hour drive down to the Indianapolis area, so we're just kind of buckled in, but what an absolutely beautiful day. Of course, Lori's driving. That way I was able to get a little bit of work done on my computer, but in the meantime, just kind of chit-chatting about things. This gives us an opportunity to spend some time together, because like you said, this is probably the most time that we've been able to spend together since we got back from Mexico. It's been so busy. Pretty cool. We're both really excited about what we're going to be picking up today. And just so that you get an idea, Forrest and Desiree have been breeding colubrids like corn snakes and stuff like that for the last few years, but it's really not in their wheelhouse, so they decided that it was time to kind of move away. Lori ended up working out the deal, so to be totally honest with you, weirdly enough, I'm not 100% sure what we're all even getting. I know it's a bunch of colubrids and I think all corn snakes, but I'm not even sure what kind, so I'm excited to get down there and see it as well. With that said, we still have about 4.5 hours to go. And we made it down to my buddy Forrest and Desiree's place. Good morning, Forrest. Thank you so much for this. This is awesome. And if you guys see, look at all of these snakes here. Guess what's going home with us? That's right. Forrest actually really grew an amazing collection of corn snakes, and he's just kind of moving past it. He's got tons of other projects. We're going to show you some stuff tomorrow's vlog of all this stuff that he's going on. But for today, we're just going to go through all these corn snakes. Forrest, thank you for this. I mean, you're going to be corn snake free.
I'm going to get more free for the most part. So yeah, just focus on conservation and a little less work. So.
Exactly, but trust me, he's got a lot of things going on, which by the way, everyone down in the comments wish him and Desiree, which I will also put their Instagram links in here, a huge congratulations, because we're just a couple weeks away from being parents for the first time.
Exactly.
So they have human offspring this time, so it's going to be really good. Lori, you're the one that kind of arranged everything, so what do we got going on here?
We have to label and pack up a bunch of corn snakes.
All right, and I'll show you guys some of the highlights. I mean, I tell you what, some of these things are absolutely incredible. By the way, this wasn't even part of the deal. This is a palmetto corn snake. This is the very first one that I've ever had. I've always loved it. Kind of like a cow retic of the corn snake world. Forrest is actually throwing this one in because he's a good friend of mine and he's doing me a solid. So regardless, that thing is amazing. But we have so many other cool corn snakes. I'll show you the highlights as we pack, but we have a couple hundred snakes to pack up before we hit the road. So there's a lot of scaleless corns in this collection, but there's a lot of non-scaleless beautiful corns too. This happens to be a motley scaleless corn snake. Just so you know, scaleless corn snake is a recessive mutation, as so is motley, but when you remove the scales, the patterning gets even more interesting looking. This thing is cool. Again, a lot of really beautiful snakes in this collection. And again, these guys just came out of hibernation, so they're basically going to be ready to feed here in the next week or so and then get right in the breeding scheme with us, which is perfect. That's why we wanted to come to pick them up now, is because more or less they're right on the same cycle as mine. This just happens to be a snow corn snake, which is just an aneurystic and an albino mix, so it's a double recessive. Been around for a long time, but still one of the cooler little corn snakes. I tell you what, it's going to be awesome to have these guys ready to breed. This is going to really up our production, which is something we really need when it comes to colubrids, because the colubrid market is exploding in popularity right now. And of course, you can see in the background, Lori has the hard part. She's the one that's going to be bagging and kind of inventorying everything so we don't screw it up. Because quite frankly, if I did it, I'd probably mess it up.
Because quite frankly, Lori always gets the hard job.
Lori gets the hard job. I just get to look at a bunch of cool animals. Take a look at this one right here. This is actually an Okatee scaleless corn snake. Okatees are the ones that have that really heavily black around the saddles. And then you put it into scaleless and man, it is gorgeous. And just to give you guys an idea, this is what an actual Okatee looks like with scales. There's a lot of really beautiful animals that aren't scaleless in this collection, and the truth is as much as I like scaleless stuff, you guys know it is, I don't want to produce too many scaleless animals. The majority of the ones that we're going to be producing from this collection will actually just be really beautiful pattern and color mutations, or in this case, locality. These things are ridiculous. Let's take a little break from packing all these snakes, and let me tell you a little bit about what I like to do when I'm traveling, whether I'm traveling alone in a car, when I want to tune out Lori, or when I'm working along and want to pass the time. I listen to a lot of Audible books. That's right. It's a great company, and today I am going to give you guys a little bit of a bonus here. If you go to audible.com/Brian Barczyk, you are going to get your first book for free. And if you sign up every 30 days, you get a credit for your own free book. You can get 2 of the exclusive Audible originals, which are original authors that are only exclusive to Audible. The other thing that's cool is that once you buy an Audible book, it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it, unlike you're not renting it or something like that. So with this new year and new you might want to, I don't know, get some more knowledge. You want to be a better person, or you just want to learn about something. There's a lot of opportunities. On this particular trip, I was actually listening to my favorite animal guy, David Attenborough's life stories. An amazing, inspiring story from one of my heroes, of course. As a matter of fact, one day maybe you guys will be able to listen to a book that I'm doing on Audible Originals. I mean, I don't have anything going on right now, but maybe one day I will be on Audible Originals. Regardless, make sure to go to audible.com/Brian Barczyk and get your free book for free. And by the way, text Brian Barczyk 500-500 if you want to go that way. Trust me, Audible, they're awesome. Another really beautiful one here. This is actually a sun-glow motley corn snake, which is basically like a hypo and an albino. That makes it just that really bright color, because a normal motley albino will have almost like white, whereas this one's a really beautiful orange color. Not quite ready to breed yet, but it's well started. Going to be a great future breeder. Lori, these are pretty nice snakes, huh?
Yes, I'm pretty excited. Definitely a really cool variety in here to make breeding fun.
I know. It's going to be really cool to kind of be back into projects that we haven't worked with in a few years. So this guy is beautiful too. And I kind of feel bad that as I'm talking about all these snakes, getting all excited about it, Lori's just working away in the background. Don't worry. I'll drive the way home, Lori, so you don't have to work and you can go to sleep. And this is kind of more typical of an albino motley corn. You can see the pattern is a little bit more distinct. And again, that sun glow will kind of make it almost all orange, where you really see the pattern in this. And this again is a double recessive mutation, the motley and the albino.
This is a captive born and bred Varanus ricingeri yellow tree monitor. It's totally socialized, used to human interaction. Really proud of this animal.
Oh my God, this thing is so cool. Tomorrow, guys, you're gonna have a bunch of cool stuff. I mean, Forrest has one of the coolest reptile collections on the planet. Of course, this yellow tree is blowing my mind, but he has a lot of stuff that's blowing my mind. So today is all about his corn snakes. Tomorrow, we're gonna show a bunch of this other stuff. But for now, back to packing corns. And one of my favorite of all the scaleless corn snakes are the anery scaleless. I just think they are ridiculous looking. And this one actually is a ghost scaleless, so it's actually a hypo anery scaleless corn snake. So essentially this is a triple recessive mutation, and it's pretty difficult to get the odds on something like this. That is just unbelievable. Lori, I think this is one of my favorite snakes out of the whole bunch that I've seen so far.
Same. Those are one of my tops too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Although we have a lot more to look at, so far this might take the cake, but I'm sure there's other ones that are pretty awesome too. Then take a look at this one right here. This is actually a tiger. Forrest, this is actually a tiger. What is a tiger? Rawr.
No, I don't know. Actually, it was you and Lori. If you go back to that vlog, you guys were here, and Lori picked out those and a couple other that she thought were special.
So then you named them Tiger. Yeah, so I remember it, and there's no doubt they look very interesting looking. I remember they had a weird belly pattern to them. Yep. So obviously they're named Tigers now. So hopefully we can get a chance to prove these guys out, because they are definitely beautiful. This actually is a tessera, or sometimes called tesseracorn. I guess you can call them either way. But this is actually a codominant mutation, which is pretty unique to corn snakes, because the majority of corn snakes aren't codominant. They're either recessive, polygenic, or something on that line. The fact that this is the only kind of codominant animal is pretty unique, especially the fact that, you know, with all the ball pythons and retics and all the codominant things, you would think an animal like corn snake that are being reproduced maybe the most of any snake out there, you know, second to ball pythons maybe, there would be more mutations that were codominant, but nevertheless, they're really cool snakes. This is actually a quad recessive mutation, which is really crazy. This is an amber motley scaleless corn. So the amber is actually a hypocaramel. Of course, I've already said that the motley is recessive, and of course the scaleless is recessive. So think about that. You don't see a lot of quad recessive animals in the reptile world. That is pretty freaking epic. Most corn snake genetics are actually pretty simple, to be totally honest with you. Like I had mentioned, they're either recessive, codominant, polygenic. This happens to be an animal that's a little bit unique. I mentioned the fact that motley corns are actually recessive. Well, weirdly enough, if you breed a motley corn, which is recessive, to a striped corn, which is recessive, you wouldn't think that they would mix, but that some people actually call a striped motley. So it's basically a motley corn, but it's expressing some of the stripe gene too, which is is pretty cool. And then, of course, this is another recessive mutation called aneurystic or black. So essentially, this is a black, motley striped corn snake. I tell you what, guys, I am so geeked right now. It's been a long time since we've gotten a lot of snakes. You guys know that we get snakes all the time. An entire collection has been a long time when it comes to snakes like this. And again, it's not an entire collection. If you look around, they have amazing animals here. Like I said, I'll showcase some of these in tomorrow's vlog, but an entire corn snake collection is pretty cool. And this one is actually an albino, motley, scaleless corn snake. And this looks like it might be a little bit sun glow too, because you could barely see the motley coloration coming through. And look at how cool that head pattern is. Wow. This thing is gorgeous as well. And speaking of gorgeous, whoo doggy, this thing is ridiculous right here. This is actually a blood red, or what they would call a diffuse scaleless corn snakes. And I feel like I've been showing you guys a lot of scaleless corns just because they're so striking. Like I mentioned, the majority of this collection isn't actually scaleless, although some are heads and possible heads and stuff like that. But nevertheless, the scaleless stuff is just so striking. And this blood red diffuse corn snake, oh my gosh. I hope you guys don't mind that this has been kind of a static video. And what I mean by that is we're just here packing snakes, getting excited about what we're seeing and stuff like that. This happens to be an albino het opal striped scaleless corn snake. Look at the pattern on this. And again, I'm sorry that I'm not moving around much, but I'm just excited to be getting here, mainly watching Lori do most of the work, and I've just been kind of playing with snakes. So good job, Lori.
Thanks.
I showed you guys a few diffuse or blood red corn scaleless. This is what the diffuse looks like as a normal non-scaleless animal. And what happens is it's born with a little bit of pattern, but as they grow up, they actually turn pretty much solid red. That's why they used to call these guys blood red corn snakes. But of course, when you breed blood reds into things like aneurystic, they turn almost all grayish black, and blood red doesn't really make sense. So then they started calling them diffuse corns. And you can see right there by the neck area, a lot of times diffuse corns will have a lot of like white pieds in them. Of course, there's a completely different line that they call pied diffuse corns, which have tons of white all throughout them. I showed you guys back at the shop the Abbott's Okatee corn snakes. Definitely one of my favorite of the kind of naturally occurring corn snakes. And basically what it is, a guy named Lee Abbott started selectively breeding the prettiest Okatee corn snakes probably 15 years ago. And over the years just continued refining it. Now look at these things. Ooh, doggy, that is one gorgeous animal. And then this is actually what they would call a reverse Okatee, but a reverse Okatee scaleless corn snake. And the reverse Okatee just basically means it's an albino Okatee corn snake. And it just means that those bands that are typically black on Okatees are a little more white or yellow. So they're a little more defined than just a normal albino scaleless. Now this is another little wrinkle when it comes to corn snakes. I had mentioned all the simplicity in corn snakes, but this is a lilac corn snake actually. It's called ultramel. And when you breed an ultramel to an albino, about half the babies end up coming out ultramel as well. So it has the first generation, so it's pretty cool. Just has a little bit more purple to it than a normal albino corn snake. And that's how you pack a couple hundred snakes. Of course, we're gonna take these snakes just in their containers here. We bagged all the other ones. Again, like I said, tomorrow you'll get a little bit of an overview of what's going on here at Forest. He has some amazing animals, and now we have a little more time to work with some other amazing cool stuff. Regardless, we're gonna go ahead, pack up the vehicle, get on the road, and make a 5-hour drive home. So we have about a 5-hour drive home. It's about 6 o'clock at night now, so we'll be getting home about 11 o'clock. Have to unload these animals. We'll get them set up tomorrow morning, but I definitely want to get them to the shop and at least get them in a temperature controlled place. So all in all, what do you think, Laura? I mean, you happy with what we got?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really nice. I'll have fun setting it all up and really looking at it as I'm putting it in the cages and getting a game plan as far as breeding and all that. So.
That's the thing. Now it's kind of like deciding what to breed to what to produce different mutations. So it's pretty exciting. It's been a while since we've had like really multi-gene corn snakes and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see what kind of babies we produce here just in another few months. But as for now, 5 hours on the road, back home. All right, just got back to the shop. It is about 10 o'clock at night. We left here at 8 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I started my day about 6 o'clock this morning. So it's been a long day. I just have to unload things because I dropped Lori off so she can get some rest tonight. Have to unload it, kind of get things as set up as we possibly can, and then I can call it a night. So let's go ahead and get these snakes inside. And there you guys go, wrapping up the day of buying a couple hundred snakes and adding to the collection. I had a great time. Absolutely amazing. Like I said, I'll show you some footage tomorrow what we shot over at Forest today, but for now, I am definitely tired. Remember to head over to audible.com/Brian Barczyk for your free 30-day trial with 1 book for free. Check that one out. You can also text Brian Barczyk to 500-500, and again, get that free trial and go support Audible. As for now, I'm going to shut the vlog down and just wish you guys an amazing day. Let me know in the comments how you like these snakes. What snake you like the most? Do you think I'm crazy for adding a couple hundred snakes? We'll set these guys up, get them all going. And of course, that will be in the vlog as we go, and hopefully we'll get a bunch of eggs from these guys. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But I really, truly thank you guys for coming along on this journey because your support is amazing. And I love you guys so much. Do me a couple favors before we get out of here. Can you smash that like button? Turn those post notifications on so you know when I upload a video. Make a comment because, again, I love reading about your beautiful faces. Comment, 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 comment. Be kind to someone, and I promise I will see you guys tomorrow.